Hello, Exiles. This is Ryan from Behind Eyes Gaming, and it is, well, I don't even know. I think it's like day 3, day 4. I haven't been paying too much attention, but it's been a couple of days since League started. My last couple of videos, I've talked in detail about the League start in regards with the situation going on and all that. You can check those out on my channel if you haven't seen them, but I talk about my opinions on that. Now I'm actually going to talk about my character because I have been playing pretty smoothly the last couple of days. Things have gone a little bit better. I'm just starting to kind of develop my atlas at the moment, and I've got my characters set up in a way that more or less pretty decent. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna run this. I think it's a Baran, but I'll run this Conqueror. I'm not sure. One of the Conquerors might be Redeemer, and I'll kind of show what my build's doing and how it's doing, and then I'll talk a little bit about my setup. So looks like I'm in a malformation here. So go ahead and pop it. But yeah, this is I'm using a General's Cry build. It's a pretty meta build, but it's a build that I thought was interesting and that I hadn't played before. So I thought I'd give it a try as a League starter. And the interesting thing about this is I pretty much started using it pretty close to as soon as I could, which was right when I got cast when channeling. And that was probably a mistake. I should have used something else. I should have used a different skill, maybe a Cyclone or a Cleave or Blade Storm, something else up until I got a little bit farther in and had all of the cooldown reduction for war cries on the tree, and obviously I couldn't afford a red blade banner right on the first or second day because they were kind of expensive and I didn't play much the first day. But by the end of the second day, I had pretty much gotten most of my setup, I think. Maybe, but I don't know, one of these days. I'm pretty sure I had my red blade banner yesterday at some point. And after I got that, it started going a lot more smoothly. I have some other interesting pieces of gear. Already have my Lion's Roar. I have a Watcher's Eye, which gives me Intimidate if I have Pride, as well as I can't be blinded if I have Precision, which I am running a low-level Precision because I like to have a little bit of a buffer of mana because I'm using a mana potion. I don't have the minus to cost of channeling craft yet, so I haven't done that, and at the moment I'd have to kind of struggle to fit it in. It's not like I'm running. My first priority is actually to get a curse on hit ring, whether that be a vulnerability or assassin's mark, but basically I just want a curse on hit ring, and then I'll kind of work out how to fit in some of the other optimizations after that, because I'm not actually running a curse. I don't want to manually cast one. As you can see, the clear is okay. Where this build really shines, though, and the whole reason to build it basically, is the boss killing, especially when you're killing a singular boss, and I hope to show that off. I don't know, I'm going back for every little thing. I'm still in the League start mode, so I'm picking up trivial pieces of currency still. I need to update my filter so that things like transmutes aren't showing up, because I certainly don't need them anymore. I've gone well past that point already. I just haven't bothered to update my loot filter. But yeah, here we'll show off this. Clear out the area really quick first, so I'm not bothered. I don't think it should matter that much. My area clear is pretty decent. And alright, so we'll set this up. I do not want to give my enemies pride, so I will go ahead and just do the flame skulls thing. And yeah, the whole thing I do for these is I just kind of go in a circle and press all of my flasks, and I'm basically spamming W at all times. Like the chaos one, it's pretty easy, especially when you have a big open circle like this. It will probably never get to you because it has to keep changing directions to chase you. So if you just go around the outer edge of the circle, the chaos one, even at its fastest, almost certainly isn't going to catch you, which makes for a pretty easy modifier. So I just get that. And then there are a couple of absolutely free modifiers for the build, like the projectile speed one and some of the other ones. So I try to get that. I'll get another fire one. Sometimes I die on this. I could very well die. Basically, unless I've already got at least like 5 plus chaos worth of rewards, I'd keep going no matter what, just because the Agnerod South, cool. We'll get the last poison one, pretty easy. So yeah, the poison cloud hasn't touched us so far, and probably won't unless I really stop paying attention. The fire skulls, the 3rd level fire skulls can be pretty hard, but this is another one that's pretty easy, especially at level 1. A willow gift, cool, neat.
The storm approaches.
Get that. The lightning ones at the lower levels is pretty easy because the circles are small and take a decent amount of time to like ramp up. So you usually don't get hit by them either as long as you keep moving. A lot of the things in this, you just tend not to get hit too hard. None of these are like really bad or great. I'll just get the 3rd level, the fire one. I think maybe, yeah. Gonna go ahead and finish this up. As you can see, my area clear is alright for this. I'm killing the monsters at a decent pace. There you go. Alright, got that completed. And yeah, the monster density you get from all this is really good. You get a lot of extra monsters killed. You know, this is level 73 and I'm level 86, and we're still rocking a solid 150 million XP per hour. I'm definitely over leveled because I haven't advanced through my atlas as quickly as I probably should have. Kind of meandered around, just messing around with the new betrayal stuff and that kind of thing, so ended up doing some lower tier maps instead of just moving on. And yeah, I'm not going to focus too hard on atlas completion. I can always do that later. I'm going to spend the rest of the time just running forward. Let's go ahead and do this. Yeah, we're just going to do it all. Just really show you, you know, what I can do here. Fire, lightning. So I like to just throw the minion ones down here. And then these are kind of spread out because the minions will block it. And if we get enough stuff, we can go ahead and upgrade it to level 3, and it'll help clear out stragglers and stuff. Got to make sure not to push stuff into the pump with the Lion's Roar. Got a Lion's Roar just recently. It was like 20 chaos for a 23% Lion's Roar, which is alright. You know, later on it's going to be a lot cheaper. But there, do that. Now we'll get that shooting off the extra, like this guy who got past, who's still surviving, so apparently not working that well. Yeah. We're Berserker, and I'll go over my skill tree. I didn't even talk about that, but yeah. I'm Berserker. So I take 10% more damage. I do have Uber Lab done. Because of the changes to Uber Lab, I was able to get it a lot more easily. I had 4 of them, but I did all of the extra trials that I had done. Okay. I thought there was an immortal because it didn't look like anything was dying. An immortality shrine. Alright, so we put this down here. We press the rage button and the boss dies. Unfortunately, I won't have rage for the Redeemer, so that's going to be a little slower. I actually forgot I was doing a Conqueror. And I also won't have my Lion's Roar, so this is going to be a little bit of a slower kill than it would be otherwise. Yeah, it's taken a while. There. Yeah, that took a lot longer than it would have taken if we had a Lion's Roar, and but it was still pretty quick. It wasn't a slow kill by any means. So, but yeah, it's only a level 73. I've only got what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That was my 6th watchstone only. There you go. All right, I'll figure all that stuff out later. And yeah, that was the map. Don't have too much. We can pretty much do up until the tier 6s and 7s that I've done at top right now. I can do mostly all of the ultimatums unless I accidentally click on one of the dumber mods. But here, oh, did we get 2 Agnerods? We got west and south. Look at us. Woo. Yeah. All right. So, going over my setup, I'm Berserker. The first thing I took Flawless Savagery first when leveling up. I should have absolutely taken Crave the Slaughter, would have leveled faster because you get movement speed from the Rage, and it's just good DPS overall. So I would recommend you get Crave the Slaughter first in the leveling process, and then I got Flawless Savagery because I went crit right from the beginning. I just started building crit right away. Um, and then I got Aspect of the Carnage after Flawless Savagery, and lastly Blitz. And I don't think that was the right order. I think maybe I should have gone Crave the Slaughter, Aspect of the Carnage, Flawless Savagery, and Blitz in that order. But yeah, it worked out. I actually pathed through the damage because I wasn't sure I would do that much damage to begin with, and I just respec to go through the life because I don't need as much damage. And the first thing I did was travel through here, and I actually traveled all the way over here, grabbed this life, and grabbed these sword nodes right away. And I ended up respecking out of all of that. I wouldn't recommend doing that. I went and got the Impale stuff as soon as I could get Impale, basically. So that was pretty much what I did next after traveling all the way over to the Ranger for some reason. I didn't look up any guides or skill trees or anything before making this. I just thought I want to play General's Cry. The only thing I really knew about it is that you needed a red blade banner for it to reach its maximum potential, preferably a Paradoxica, but honestly, any decent one-handed sword will work. The one I was using for a really long time was this one here, which I actually bought right at level 50 for like 3 chaos. It had 198% physical damage, and it has 1.81 attack speed. And I crafted on the crit chance, wasted some of my precious chaos, so that was probably. But yeah, this carried me. I literally wore this until level 80 when I bought this better one here, which is a higher DPS, higher attack speed, higher crit chance. It's got it all. Plus, it's got life gain on hit, which is kind of nice because we're hitting like with maximum attack speed with Blood Rage and everything up. The attack time is 0.06, so we're hitting a lot of times per second, something like 14 times per second. So gaining a lot of life from that, especially if we're in big crowds of enemies, keeping us full up. And for to generate the desecrate corpses you need for General's Cry, because this does summon minions out of corpses. So what I have is Cyclone, Caswell Channeling, Desecrate. Those are the 3 important ones. While leveling, I actually had Life Tap with the Cyclone instead of Fortify because I didn't need the extra defense, and sustaining the mana for a Cyclone is actually quite hard while leveling early on, especially if you're using Precision, Pride, and Dread Banner, because you're going to use up a lot of your mana, because Precision eats up a big flat mana reservation, especially if you keep leveling it. So I use Life Tap, which makes it so that your spells cost life instead of mana, and it also gives you a little Life Tap buff, which lasts 4 seconds, and you're basically constantly triggering it, which makes your flasks heal for more, which is really nice for leveling as well. But later on, I replaced that with Fortify. I am using a mana flask still. Once I get reduced crafting or reduced channeling cost, because it's only 3 mana, so the 3 will work perfectly. I won't need to use this, and I'll use another defensive or offensive flask. We'll throw that in there. For my main setup, I have General's Cry with Blade Flurry, Impale, Brutality, Pulverize, and melee physical damage. I like Pulverize a lot compared to, I could use Maim, for instance, to get an extra more damage multiplier, and I might find a way to fit Maim on in another way. Currently, I do add Intimidate through this Watcher's Eye, which gives me Intimidate for 4 seconds while you're using Pride with my hits, and can't be blinded while affected by Precision, so it's a pretty good Watcher's Eye. It's like 50 chaos using that. But yeah, I like Pulverize because the AoE really helps with Clear, because Clear is where this kind of falls apart. I actually had Pulverize over melee physical damage, even though, it gives you the reduced attack speed, because I have a lot of attack speed. Between the Blitz charges, and then I have various nodes that give me attack speed. I have like the Blade Master stuff, I have Versatility, I have Art of the Gladiator. So I have a good amount of attack speed and just a very high base attack. So I'm going to do that. I'm debating defensively whether to go to Soul of Steel, which is what I'm leaning towards, or going with the Rampant, which actually might be better because Fortify effect is really good, but so is the +1 to maximum elemental resistances plus some high armor. And honestly, I can't do Ellie weakness very well. I do get endurance charges through the very powerful Inexorable. I really like this node, and since I passed by it, I took it because I'm like, I'm Berserker. I'm taking 10% increased damage from Aspect of the Carnage. The endurance charges are enormously helpful. This gives me more regen, gives me more armor. It's basically a perfect node for this build, honestly. And we're also using a cast when damage taken Molten Shell. I would use Vol Molten Shell, but I don't really have the buttons, and I don't really want to press Control to swap it over so I can use it. So I'm not. Obviously, makes it good. No, but the real, I found it really early, and it just had a lot of resistances. So and life as well. Like I haven't touched it, and this is how I found it. It's pretty good. I should probably get 35 strength on it for the slight extra damage and life I'll get from that. So I can use my blessings. I don't even know. I haven't been paying too close of attention. I only have 4 blessed orbs, so I'm not going to bother for now. I'm using a pretty not super great amethyst ring in that it doesn't give me much life. I forgot the tier 3 life craft when I was going through the campaign, so I went back and got it. I'm just gonna do that now. There, I have more life now. uh, I should have done that a while ago, but I didn't. Um, the 6 link I bought the base quite a while back. It was like 50, and then I just crafted it with an essence and then crafted the cold and lightning resist I needed on it. This ring I found and crafted the flat physical. I crafted these spike gloves. They're not that great, but they have some life and attack speed, honestly, and they have the melee damage. These are first on the priority, but to get upgraded. I was literally, though, before this, up until like probably level 75, 78, something like that, I was using, with these colors, the green, green, blue, red, I was using just blue gloves with like 36 life and 10 fire resist. That was it. So yeah, I these are a huge upgrade from that. The boots, I picked them up probably pretty early in Ultimatum, and they had just a lot of life, tier 1 life and tier 1 hybrid life. And I wasn't getting a lot of life from other sources, especially with me running like the Deed Bellow, which I just picked up. I was running a helmet with life before that, but Deed Bellow is pretty crazy for this. It has high armor to begin with. It gives melee damage, flat physical, dex, which I need, really nice. And if you've Warcried recently, you and nearby allies have 20% increased attack, cast, and movement speed. I'm always Warcrying, like literally every 1.57 seconds. It's nonstop. So, and you can see all of my little dudes running out there. Uh, Apparently, they can pop up even without the corpses, but yeah, they come up. So I have that going, and then I have this, which I bought for like, I think it was like 8 chaos or something like that just earlier today. I think that's a pretty good deal because it has life, triple resist, and then it had a. I didn't have a lot of oils yet, so I couldn't really. I also had a worse amulet than this, so it was a pretty cheap upgrade. I just picked it up. I'm not like super rich right now or anything. I have 56 chaos orb, and I think I'm trying to sell this for too much. I tried to sell. It keeps you know, as time passes, this is a worse and worse item, and I might not ever be able to sell it. I've had it in here for quite a while. Here, I'll just drop it down to 4, see if somebody buys it then. But yeah, probably not going to sell that. People will get it like a Searing Touch or something instead. And then, of course, Red Blade Banner, which makes war cries have infinite power, which means that we're always getting the maximum amount of guys from our General's Cry. Before this, General's Cry felt very weak because sometimes, especially like against bosses, we would still get 4 guaranteed because you generate 20 power while near a boss. But I think like rares give 10 power and like blues give 5 power and common enemies give 1. So if there was just like 3 scragglers sitting around me and I was going here and I did this, I would only summon 1 and it would hit one of them and maybe not even kill it. And it would take me longer to kill. It would be fine in like big groups of enemies or against bosses, but yeah, clearing was just awful before Red Blade Banner. The other thing you can do is get Crywolf, which guarantees you're always going to get 4. Crywolf is a medium cluster jewel mod you can get from a level 68 or higher Exert medium cluster jewel. So if you have an item level 68 or higher medium cluster jewel, you can try to roll Crywolf, or you can just buy it. They were pretty expensive, and there were none on the market when I was trying to look back when like Red Blade Banner was like in between 80 Chaos and an Exalt to find a Red Blade Banner. They're much cheaper now. I think I got mine for like 30 Chaos. I'm not actually sure, that might not be accurate, but it wasn't that much. It was relatively cheap compared to just like 24 hours ago where it was enormously expensive. And yeah, so my plans for this build to upgrade it are I'm going to get a Curse on hit ring, either Vulnerability or Assassin's Mark. I'll shop around, see what's a reasonable price. They'll both be a huge boost in DPS for me. And then I'm going to go ahead and farm the Uber Lab. Now that we get 3 choices, I'm just going to keep farming it until I can try to get General's Cry gives +1 minions on it, the enchant, and that's literally just straight up a 20% more damage multiplier, and it gives better clear since we're always going to get the maximum amount. So yeah, it's just 20% more. It's really, really strong, and now that labs are way, way better. So yeah, if you didn't know, now you can pop one of these offerings. I'm just going to pop one in since I already have it to show you. You can just pop these into your map device, and it will generate a random trial. And you won't get an offering at the end, obviously. That would be pretty busted. But if you have enough, like I ran most of the, except for the most, difficult or annoying ones, but all the easy trials that I already had, I just ran them again to get another offering. And I had like 8, and within that 8, I think within like 5, I got the 2 I was missing, and I was able to go do Uber Lab. So one of many awesome quality of life things they've done in relation to Labyrinth, and I'm really happy about that because it's really frustrating to go like be like level 90 plus and not have your Uber Lab yet, and you feel like the only way you can do it is to go onto like one of those chat channels and beg people to give you an invite to one of the ones you're missing and hope that you can catch it. I remember the one I was like level 91 and didn't have Burning Rage still, and I finally gave up and went to get it through one of the chat channels that you can ask people about it, or people offer to give away their lab things. And then I got Burning Rage like 2 maps after I did Uber Lab, of course, because that's how it rolls. But yeah, it's been a pretty fun league start character. Very strong bosser. I hope I'll be able to like speed clear Cirrus pretty good. Kill some of the more fun bosses like Shaper and Elder and Uber Elder and whatnot. And all their guardians, of course, and get some cool loot over the next couple of days. I'm gonna rush through the maps now. That's gonna be my aim for the next 24 hours, is to get up to tier 16s, get those